Hi, my name is Emmanuel Tudemore, and I currently reside in Dallas, Texas. I'm an actor. I'm 33 years old. I weigh 242 pounds. My height is 5'8". I recently applied for a role for a TV show called Starship Gemini for the character of Keelan Wynn. And the reason why I applied for the character was because I really felt that, um, well, I know what it's like to lose someone. Okay. And I don't want to offend anyone if they haven't, but I can identify with the character with the information that was at least provided to me, on the casting. And although he's up to 30 years old and I'm 33, but I definitely have the spirit to play someone within that age range, and I'm very dedicated to being a part of the role. I'm also actively in the gym working out as we speak. Um, I'd say that was probably the biggest thing that I did. I was a local actor, so I had done some stuff, in Dallas, Fort Worth, because that's where I was living. I've been in Dallas for over 20 years at that point, and the show where they were filming was in Burbank, California, over at Burbank Studios, and I hadn't been to California in 11 years, and I had my family, my other family out there, my aunts, my cousin, my uncle, and really missed them, and my sister, my brother-in-law, and so it was time to go see them, and just to be closer to family. My dad was still living in Dallas, and working, and so I told him, hey Dad, I just got cast in this TV show. It's going to be in the Sci-Fi Network. It's 10 episodes, and I'm going to be filming in Burbank, California. I may still live in Dallas, Texas for a year, but they wanted me to come out. And they said it'd be easier for you just to move out here. So I ended up doing that. Sold all my furniture. Of course, I kept my computer and my laptop. And then, hopped in my Ford Explorer and took a 21-hour drive to LA. And already had my cousin. She's a journalist for Cosmopolitan magazine, so I was able to stay with her until I got on my feet. I did get an apartment probably a week or so after I had gotten there, and because we had to start testing with the costumes and do additional test footage. And once we did all that, and basically it gives them an idea of, okay, well, this character specifically will have different stunts because he's the Rock. That was me. Or Lance, who plays Brett Walton, he's more of the spiritual endeavor, so he's more playful in a way, but he is serious, but he's the pilot. I was more like backup security with the rifle at the end of the ship. And then, of course, when we went to the Mars, well, it's all green screen. Well, it's all green screen. So when we did the sequence, I was just like, oh my god, this is so awesome. I'm like, oh shit. And then they're like, well, this is your trailer. This is where you're gonna stay at, and feel free to roam around, meet the crew. And I met the producers and all the makeup crew assistants. Hey, what's up? My name is Manny. Nice to meet you, dude. And just, hey, I'm just here to do this, and I'm just very excited to be here. Happy birthday! Oh, someone singing "Happy Birthday," and I was just so happy to be a part of it. And so I had to call all my friends. Hey, I just got cast in this TV show. They're like, what? What's it called? Oh, it's called Starship Gemini. It's a science fiction TV series. It's about 10 episodes for the first season, and hopefully we get picked up for a second season, and it's going to be airing on the Sci-Fi Network in the fall. So they're like, what? And then I got my Screen Actors Guild card, and that was awesome. So, that just meant now you're eligible for work throughout Los Angeles. One of my friends, she called me to congratulate me. She was an actress as well, and it's funny. She moved to LA actually a month before I did, and then she saw me at the airport, just jumped up in my arms. It's like, oh my God, I saw it on Facebook, and I heard, and I'm so happy. And it was awesome because her boyfriend, or fiance now, he's a visual effects artist for Marvel Studios, and so a lot of the visual effects he was actually working on our show. And so she's like, "Oh my God!" I'm like, "Hey!" And so I got to work with him, and now we're really good friends, and just we want to just keep working together. But just the opportunity to do this, I mean, I had to. There's a saying that, my mom told me one time in the car. We were coming home. Um, I think from school. She picked me up from school one day. She said, "You don't bite the hand that feeds you." And I'm like, "Well, yeah, you're right." And but kind of didn't really know what she meant. I kind of took it as, you don't burn bridges. And I mean, I understand now, yeah. But when I left Capital One, I mean, I'm always going to be grateful and thankful, for, the limited opportunities I had to, work with and be the best. Um, it was a learning experience for me, for sure. I mean, yeah, I worked with some good people and some not so good people, but hey, the experience is what counts the most, and you can use that and channel it to make it into something of a better situation in the future. You know, so and so before that, shortly before that, I got cast to do this horror film called Jason, and they needed me in Connecticut. They said it's only for 2 weeks. You'll get paid. It's Screen Actors Guild affiliated. We'll make sure that we compensate you, but we need you to do the rest of the movie as Jason, the killer. I said, "Well, Jason, what's Jason?" And he's like, "Well, remember that movie Friday the 13th?" And I'm like, "Oh, that piece of shit." He's like, "Yeah, well, they want you to play the character because the actor that they hired couldn't do his own stunts." And I actually knew Michael and Gerald Crumb. I worked with a film with them called Fall of Grace, and that was the first feature film that I did. And so I made a really good impression on them by taking a punch to the jaw. Didn't hurt, and felt like metal against metal because I'm like part man, part machine. And so we filmed that. That was like a 20-minute fight scene that took like 4.5 hours to film. And so yeah, I was like, "Yeah, cool, I'll do it." It was over at Paramount Studios. It was, yeah, a low budget horror film. They needed me to play, do the stuff that, I guess, all the running and jumping and the killing. So I said, "Okay." And they go, "Well, what's your shoe size?" And I said, "I'm a size 13. "Okay, well, he's a size 12. I'm like, "All right, well, I'll just have to ball my feet up his fists and get them into the shoes and try to make the best of it." So if you look at the film, I'm not exactly running, but I'm loping, loping around like a hillbilly, kind of like, because they were that small and they hurt it a lot. Um, so we did the film, and then the first scene that I shot was probably I think it was the scene where I was in the woods in the daytime, and the sheriff or the deputy, he's driving the car, and he's never driven a car, by the way. That was the first time ever he drove a car, and he refuses to drive a car ever since. He just, yeah. And I was like, "Well, why do you guys have him?" I'm like, "Okay, they hired him because he looked like a deputy, but he couldn't drive a car." And I thought that was odd, and some people they just don't want to. Yeah, I just thought it was odd. I was like, "Well, can he floor it, to where he's not going to run me over?" And so they said, "Well, we're going to shoot it in a distance to where we see you running from his point of view." And then all of a sudden it's like, "Well, there he is." So yeah, so that scene, and then he goes into the outhouse, and then I get him from behind with the edge of the hammer, and yeah. But no, Warrington, yeah, like I said, he couldn't do his own stunts. That's what it was told to me. So the scene where they had that stylized dream sequence, I think, where he comes through the window, and the Amy Steele character, he shot that, right? Well, he was supposed to originally jump off a set of these balsa wood stairs, and he couldn't do it, or he couldn't jump. Because I was actually there that day waiting to get his wardrobe and put it on, and then so what they did was they swung him on this machine, or rigged him on this machine, and it swung him through the breakaway glass, and that's how they were able to film that. Gina, did I like her? I did, but I felt that she, didn't feel that way about me. So, and like you can't really force someone to feel a certain way about you. So I just felt that maybe, it's just best that I move on and go do my thing. And I don't know, sometimes you just feel like you can't really, get to someone, and you eventually just give up on the idea just because it's not really going anywhere. But I will say that I really didn't know what to expect at all. I was kind of like, well, shit, we'll do this and see what happens. But no, I did the film, and 85% of the film and was done. But yeah, like I said, I got to do that film, and or then jump back into almost at Jet Force Gemini. That's an N64 game. Yeah. But my story is kind of interesting too. I was out with some friends, just socializing, and I just completed the film, and was just enjoying myself. And then I remember getting a call from the casting director, or actually an email, and asking could I tape for Starship Gemini in the morning. And I was like, oh, yeah. I was like, yes, because I wanted to be a part of it. So I'm like, okay, I'll get up early and I'll learn it. And then I woke up 7 o'clock that morning to 5 missed calls, and the casting director was like, well, we want you to get on a plane tomorrow. And I was like, well, I didn't even tape yet. Like, oh my God, what's going on? And so I caught the next flight to Los Angeles, landed on a Saturday, and met the director and the producer, one of the directors, because they had 3 directors that did the episodes, and tested for the role on Sunday. Found out Monday morning I had the role, and okay, so you're going to be filming January of next year actually. And so they gave me time to get a trainer, get in shape, and then took care of me basically by then. So I had enough to really do enough, but it worked out even better. So yeah. Well, I was okay, yeah, for sure. I was paid pretty decently, and I've never got paid that. I've never made that much money before, ever. So it was only the beginning, yeah. But I've always been someone that's pretty good with budgeting and stuff like that. But yeah. So did the episodes, and of course we had to go out and promote the TV show at Comic-Con, and then found out that we got picked up by a major network, NBC, and then Fox actually wanted it too. So there became a bidding war. Sci-Fi Network, they had to choose between Universal and Fox, and ultimately it was Fox. They got it. I think the reason was how it was told to me. Fox has a better understanding of sci-fi television shows. They were really successful with a lot of stuff like Sliders, a couple others I can't really think of. But yeah, so we'll be right back and finish this up here.